Hey y'all, it's Jake, here to tell you about kind of who I am and what my story is and how I got started. So, I started a mobile food cart business as a part-time gig, and the food cart business name was Fireman Jake's. I am a firefighter, and I just enjoyed sticking with the firefighter theme. People seem to really enjoy that, and it's one of my passions. Firefighting is my passion, as well as food carts are also my passion. So, I started my mobile food cart business selling hot dogs, and I started it on kind of a whim or an idea because I knew a gentleman that was down in San Antonio, Texas, and he was selling barbecue tacos out of a food cart. One night I asked him how well he actually did selling those tacos, and he told me he makes about $1,200 in a weekend. Well, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, this guy, he's got very low overhead. He's probably making a killing on this. He's making a lot of profit. If he can do it, I can do it. So this just kind of stuck in the back of my head. It stuck there for a couple of years actually, until I decided that I wanted to start my own part-time business. So I started looking into it. I was like, what kind of businesses can I start? What businesses have very low overhead that I will be able to start with very low or minimal risk? That way, if it doesn't succeed, I'm not going to be out a lot of money and I'm not going to be put in a bind. So the food cart idea came up along with a couple other ideas. So I started looking more into the food cart business and got very interested in it, especially with the profit margin, how large the profit margin was, that I can make a lot of money. I was like, well, let's just go for it. So I dilly-dallied. I dilly-dallied on it for months, and eventually I finally went to the Small Business Development Center. When I was at the Small Business Development Center, they actually helped me write out a business plan. Once I took my idea from up here and I actually put it down on paper, it went from an idea to a business very, very quickly. This goes along the lines of writing down your goals, and once I did that, it just took off. So I started getting all my ducks in a row. I went and got my health department certification. I called the proper city entities to find out what licenses were needed, if I could sell. I started scouting locations, and eventually I made the purchase and I went ahead and bought a food cart. I chose to buy a brand new food cart, which cost me a little bit more than if I would have started with a used food cart, obviously, or if I would have started with a tent and a little bit different of a setup that I actually do now and that I teach people how to do now. So I chose to go with the new option because I had a little bit of money saved up and I wanted everything to be perfect. Well, it was a great cart when it showed up, but it had been damaged by the shipping company and they had dented it pretty badly. That's a whole different story. I can show you pictures of that later. But once I started my mobile food business, it started to pick up. It started to pick up business really quickly, and it got to a point to where it wasn't even a part-time job at that point, because I was working my regular job and then working 10 or 12 hours on the weekends and making a lot of money. But I was exhausted doing it. It is a lot of work. I'm not here to blow smoke up your dark side. I'm here to tell you that this is a lot of work. It does take some determination. It takes some moxie to get up off the couch and go do what you need to do. So don't be misled. There's plenty of websites out there that will tell you that working a food cart is easy, that you can make a lot of money really quickly. You can make a lot of money really quickly, but it's not easy. It does take work. So that's what I did, and I ended up building up my website and building up my food cart business, and both of those together ended up generating quite a bit of traffic for me and quite a bit of sales. Eventually I sold my food cart business because I was going to be moving. I was leaving town, I was going to be moving somewhere else, and I had some people that were interested in it, so I sold it to them. After I sold it, I was getting more and more invitations and people wanting to hire me to come out to some different events. So I went and bought my little tent setup that we'll talk about later. I'll show my little setup, but it ends up working just as well, and I'm continuing to make sales. And now I'm into the realm of teaching people how to do that. I'm working with the International Refugee Committee on how to teach refugees to start their own food cart businesses, because it's a great business to learn how to build your own American dream. So with that, I'm also doing brand marketing and product promotions for larger brand name companies. So this business started out small and ended up growing larger and larger to provide me with different opportunities. And that's where I'm at now. So that's why I'm designing this website. I love helping people. I love teaching people about how to start their own food cart business. I love public speaking. So hopefully we'll see where it goes. It's just kind of a work in progress. I'm doing what I can, trying to get these resources together. I'd appreciate any input, and anybody that can send me videos or photos, anything like that, would be a great help. Thanks, guys.